All right, official good morning on the recording. We're getting our bodies warmed up and ready for Tai Chi so we can spend this time together practicing what we've already learned and also just putting our little big toe, just the barrel tip of it in the water as we're going to kind of introduce ourselves to those advanced 6 movements, which start with brush knee. And brush knee to me is the most complicated movement of our advanced 6 because we change direction. We go from facing the front to facing the left. And so I'll show you in all the different directions what it looks like. And you just wrap your head around the movement and do your best with it. Thankfully, there is no perfect Tai Chi. So we can take any expectation of perfection and just throw it out the window. It's not about perfection. It's about a journey in learning our Tai Chi. It's a journey in exploring our principles that guide us in our Tai Chi, and then ultimately doing it all in a safe manner. So we are learning and doing Tai Chi to make strong bodies so that we're less likely to fall in our everyday life. And so we reap the rewards from what we do here in class out there in our regular movement as we instill principles in just the way we are. Tai Chi is kind of a lifestyle type of a thing. It just becomes who you are. And whether you like it or not, once you invest the time and energy in taking it seriously, it just becomes a way that you move and a way that you hold your body. And so one way we hold our body is in a stable stance. And that's when we make our feet about shoulder width apart. We think about our posture. We're standing up straight, but we're not holding any tension anywhere in our bodies. Our joints are open. We have a slight bend in our knee, but we're really thinking about the strength of our body in the way we're holding it. Let me ditch this chapstick. It's in my pocket. All right. We're breathing, y'all. Inhaling, filling our lungs with air, and exhaling, completely emptying those lungs with air. And I encourage you to breathe right now and just focus on breath as you hold yourself in this stable stance. Our goal in doing our Tai Chi is just to breathe at in a normal way, in a normal pace. Don't try to force an inhale and an exhale at certain moments in your movement. Just be conscious that you're breathing. Be conscious and aware that you're not holding your breath. I got Miss Iris coming in. Let me mark her present. As you continue to breathe. And that's something I want you to recognize throughout your day, is that you're not holding your breath. Oftentimes we get busy. Our mind is busy. Our hands are busy. And then we realize we haven't taken a breath. So just check in with yourself and make sure you're breathing. So that's what I encourage you to do as we do our Tai Chi movement, starting with our warm-ups of our neck. Bringing those hands up, turn and pull them towards our chin and chest. Push them away. Oh, thank you. Oh, gosh. Thank you. Did y'all see what I just got? Goodies. I got honey.
Wow, I want some.
I went around asking the office earlier. I said, do you know where I can buy local honey? And I was, getting information, and Mandy pipes up and was like, you want honey? And I said, yes, I do. She said she had honey bees on her property, and whoever tends them just shows up with a box of honey every now and again. And she said they don't drink it, or use it. I guess you could drink it. Oh, that'd be a stomach ache. Anyway, excuse me. Oh, let's do our neck exercise. Right now, yes, I'm breathing. I've already acknowledged I want you to make sure you're breathing. But for a second here, I want you to think about that gentle resistance. And when I say gentle resistance, I'm thinking about this air being heavy, and I'm pulling my arms through that heavy air. And it's very... Oh, Ed. We got Ed now. If anybody else comes...
Trudy is not here today. Thomas is here.
Only Thomas. Okay. Well, please tell Miss Trudy that we missed her being here, but I did mark her present. Just because when I saw her name, I automatically mark Trudy and Thomas, because y'all go together. But moving through air that's heavy. And so we're not forcing anything. It's not a forceful resistance. It's gentle resistance. And that's one of our principles in Tai Chi. And that, to me, that's just one of those movements that lends itself to thinking about gentle resistance. Our next neck exercise, we're going side to side. I just want you to think about that neck. Feel the muscles stretch and warm up as you go side to side. We're following one hand with our head, but the other's down by our hip, and it's engaged. So we're not just laying it down out here, we're engaged. We're holding it by our hip. We're leaving room for our armpits to breathe. And I know my outfit's baggy today. It may be hard to see some of that. This is actually a dress, but I don't know who's it a dress for, because it ain't a dress for me. It'd be showing way too much stuff. All right. Now we got Linda. Wait a second.
Yeah, get me.
Oh, Linda, you're coming in twice?
I'm changing formats.
Oh, I saw that, but I was like, I don't know what that means.
And I'm trying to close the other one.
I gotcha. So we have this hand by our hip. We're engaged. We're keeping that space in our armpit, which allows that energy to move through our bodies. Now let's rotate our shoulders. And I'm fixing to say something kind of hippie, and I don't even understand exactly what I'm saying. So just go with me on it. And that last night it was a full moon, and apparently it was a super moon and a harvest moon and a hunter's moon, and I don't know what it was about that moon. But if you feel a little bit sucked of energy today, I think that moon sucked people's energy. And I told you I don't really know what I'm talking about. I just know something about that moon last night. It has everybody feeling drained today. My daughter and I went outside to look at it, and it was It was a full moon, but it was small, but it had this like pink kind of aura circle that surrounded it, and that was kind of cool. I was like, what is that? So some people say it has to do with the winter and if it's going to be mild or dry or snowy. So are y'all hoping for a snowy winter? You remember we had snow last winter. Y'all want to see snow again?
Oh,
No. Well, y'all know I moved to Georgia from Kentucky because I'm not a big fan of cold weather. So I feel like I've seen enough snow in my life. But if y'all want it, I'll want it with y'all.
oh
Because I know if you're from the South, you hadn't seen, and you've not been out of the South very often, then that snow is a rare, and it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. But we pretty much have to shut down, don't we? Because we don't have salt trucks and stuff. All right, let's grab our ball. We're going to separate and stretch our spine. Remember, keeping that soft bend. Reminding you to continue to breathe. Also reminding you that if you have limitations in your shoulders, that you can keep this stretch small by staying at your ball and doing that stretchy string, thinking about the spine stretching. Going to our other spinal exercise, we're going to go side to side with our ball. The hand on top tells us the direction. In this move, again, we're thinking about gentle resistance as we move side to side. We're also thinking about the engagement of our core muscles. So I'm tightening my stomach muscles as I move my torso side to side. Again, nothing forceful. It's a gentle resistance with those muscles. We engage those muscles and get them stronger and more able. Back to center. Now for our lower body. So this is where it gets a little more challenging because we're shifting weight from one leg to the other. Holding weight on one leg. We place our heel forward, hands back, keeping our upright posture. Pause in the middle, toe back. And at an angle like a kickstand, which will be more stable, just like on a bicycle. Put that kickstand out, it keeps our bike from falling over. If we were to put our foot straight back, and you can try that if you feel very strong, and recognize the difference in how it feels to put your foot straight back versus out at this angle, and just that stabilizing factor in opening and widening your stance. Let's go to the other side, shifting the weight, heel forward, hands back. I try to stick to 3 on each side when it comes to our lower body movements because it is so challenging. Reminding you to breathe. back to center. Now we're going to shift weight, taking our hands in the direction of the weight shift and tapping out. I see a lot of y'all's silhouettes in that you're standing upright. You're not leaning into the movement. I see the pace of your movement being slow and smooth, and that is so beautiful to me. It's almost like y'all are listening to what I'm saying. The slow, smooth, and continuous it's a hard transition to make from our outside world that's always in such a hurry. All right, loose fists at our hips. We're going to do our knee warm-up stretches, shifting weight, lift, tap, and punch. Bring it back, shift, lift, tap, and punch. Continue to breathe. These are those moments when we're very challenged by the movement of our body and when we tend to hold our breath. So if you need to hold on to a chair for this movement, that's fine. Just skip the punch or hold on with the one hand that's not punching. Whatever works for you, because you want to listen to your body. All right, let's step out. Small step, shifting forward, keeping both feet flat on the floor, shifting back, side by side. Shift, step, shift and punch. Bring it back, side by side. Shift. So the punch is the opposite side of the foot that steps out. That's a cross-lateral movement. It's good for our brains. Now for our ankles, shifting weight, heel, toe, heel, toe. Back, shift weight, heel, toe. So rocking that foot. Reminding you to breathe. Bringing that foot back, shifting weight, and little toe, big toe. I never realized how stiff my ankles are until I do this movement. I've been doing these ankle warm-ups every morning before I get out of bed, just doing them in the air. To get my feet and self ready to get out of bed. Just getting the muscles of my feet warm before I just get on them cold. I find that's helping when I do get out of bed. All right, give yourself a nice little shake. We're all warmed up and ready for movement. All right, so Basic 6. We have learned all of our movements. We have been practicing our movements. I have encouraged you, and I'll continue to encourage you to practice Tai Chi walking. Tai Chi walking helps you practice empty step. Tai Chi walking helps you practice the slow, smooth, and continuous nature of our movements.
Going good. I'm in the meet.
Tai Chi walking helps us with weight transfer, and it helps us with spacing of steps, okay? So when I say Tai Chi walking, you can Tai Chi walk forward, where I place my foot out, but I don't immediately give it weight, and then I do. And so, empty step, shift the weight. Empty step, shift the weight. So, this is probably something that you don't want to do in public. Someone may run you over or think that you're really strange for walking that way, because we don't typically walk that way in public. But set a timer, set 5 or 10 minutes, and Tai Chi walk around your house. Inside, outside, wherever you feel safe, where the ground is going to be even and nothing to trip over. Then also practice Tai Chi walking sideways. And so whatever limited space you have, like here to stay within the camera, I have very limited space. So I scoot over here towards the wall and I Tai Chi walk. Talking about mirror image, we're going to the left. Really, this is my right, but mirror image, I place that foot out, shift the weight, follow step. So it's an empty step. Every step is empty, step, then the weight shift, empty step, shift, step, shift, empty. So I encourage you to practice Tai Chi walking side to side and Tai Chi walking forward. The more you practice the side to side Tai Chi walking, the better you're going to get at spacing, because you're going to recognize those times whenever your step is too big and you can't shift the weight over top of this leg without off on this other foot. So you say, ooh, I don't need to make a step that big anymore. I need to keep my step smaller. Or you may find that when you step too close. And so when you go to shift weight, then you feel like you're going to fall. So the more you practice walking Tai Chi, or Tai Chi walking to the side, the better you're going to get at spacing. The better you're going to get at waving hands in clouds, which is our more complicated move of our basic 6. Step and switch, or shift, step and shift. Those are the footwork. That's the Tai Chi walking that I'm talking about in our waving hands in clouds movement. The switch and turn is our upper body movement. And so, yes, practice your Tai Chi walking. You know, I didn't even mention what was going on with your hands. But practice what's going on with your hands probably from a seated position, okay? So think about, I'm seated, which I can get my chair. Let me get my chair. And if y'all have a chair accessible, y'all get the chair. But if not, it's fine. You can stay standing. But I like the seated position because I can just let that chair keep me from falling, right? If I'm standing, I got to be really conscious of the strength of my legs. If I'm seated, I can be comfortable, even though I have my feet shoulder width apart. I have good posture. I'm relaxed in my shoulders. So I have a good Tai Chi stance, even seated. And what do our hands look like? Well, we have one down and one crossbody, and then we're going to turn. We're going to switch, and we're going to turn. I'm going to tell you why I encourage you to practice this seated. All right, so follow me here as we practice the hand movements. This is one way you can practice breath and movement at the same time. So inhale and exhale at your own pace. You can switch your hands and turn at your own pace. When you're doing this by yourself, you don't have anybody to follow. And this is all that you're doing. So you're not worrying about how many and if, your leader has moved on to that next movement. So you can practice and think slow, smooth, and continuous. Switch. See, even in the switch, it's very smooth. You can think about the space in your armpit, so energy is allowed to flow. You can think about gentle resistance as you move through heavy air. So you can practice several of the principles just in that simple movement of switch and turn. Now, why would I want you to practice it seated? Here's why. If I'm standing and I turn, I can easily come way over here. And I might not realize that I'm twisting my spine a little bit. I might not realize that I'm doing too much, which is common in our lives. We do too much. But seated, if I try to go way over here, I feel my leg and my butt pulling off of that chair. So I'm coming off of that chair when I try to do too much. And so when we practice this movement seated, we realize just how small of a turn it is, and that we stop right here just above that knee. We can, most likely you can even see your knee out of your peripheral. If you're in camera, you can see that you're stopping right above your knee and turning. But again, if I try to go too far, I feel myself pulling off of my chair. So if I practice that movement seated, then I get used to how small that turn is. All right? So then that translates as we stand here. So I realize and remember from the seated practice that it's really small. And it's not way over here. I'm not twisting. Or sometimes what I see is this. So that's an extension outside of our frame. But here we're staying in our frame. So don't get caught up in that trap of more is better. Just our everyday lives, we do too much. And in Tai Chi, we don't do too much. We keep everything small. And so I encourage you to practice those movements separately. And when we put them together for waving hands and clouds, then yes, it's difficult because we're doing hands and feet. And it just feels like so much going on at once. But when we break it down into 1, 2, 3, 4, one thing at the time, we have our cheat sheet to follow. We don't even have to use our brains. We just do what's next in that order. Then we get better at the movement. And before you know it, you won't even need your cheat sheet anymore. Your body goes into autopilot. And that's what practice does for you. All right, so I'm going to turn around and we're going to do our Tai Chi Basic 6. In our stable stance, good posture, relaxed shoulders, open joints. I'm breathing. I'm reviewing my principles. I'm thinking slow, smooth, continuous. I'm reminding myself of an empty step before the weight transfer. All right, here we go from the top. And commence. Hands come up. Down, shift right. Place left. Hands come in and up. Shift left as they go out. Right foot forward. Hands come back, open and close. Single whip. Shift left, place right. Adjust as I push, turn, and separate. Eyes follow that left hand. Shift left, bring that right foot, right hand back, waving hands in clouds. Step, switch, turn. Shift, 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 step, switch, turn. Come back to the middle for open and close. Single whip. Shift right, place left. Push, turn, and separate. Eyes follow that right hand. Shift right, bring that left foot, left hand back, waving hands in clouds. Step, switch, turn. Shift, 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 step, switch, turn. Come back to center for open and close. Close it out. Any questions about those moves? I talked you through them specifically to give you those directions. Let's go and now do them again.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
When I did that, and we take the 3 steps over, and
Hold
then
on.
open and close.
Go closer to your microphone. Go
Oh,
close.
well, I was trying to do it, and then when we take our steps over,
Uh-huh.
we open and close.
Uh-huh.
I have to get back in the center of the room to end up over here.
Well, if you notice, I start off center. So I
Okay.
start
Oh,
over here to the left,
yeah,
because if I start to the center and I start
yeah.
doing waving hands in clouds, I'm gonna run into this wall.
Okay,
So
well,
I
that's my
start,
problem.
you notice I start off center. So I start
Oh,
over
okay.
here. So when I
Yeah.
go waving hands in clouds, then I get over here and then I'm gonna wave hands in clouds over to the left. And so I don't end in the center or begin in the center.
I got you. That's my problem.
There you
That's
go.
it.
Because we're working in limited space.
Yeah.
So unless you just live in a mansion and you got all the space you
I
can
think you
handle.
have more room than I do.
I have more room than you do.
Yeah, I'm in a little apartment.
Gotcha. Well, work with what you can, and I will tell you this. When we do waving hands in clouds, so I talk about how small our steps are, and so that we're not taking large steps. So we shouldn't be using a whole lot of space, but let's just pretend that someone locked us in a closet. No, I was kidding. All we have is a little closet. So we can't even, but sometimes you may, just say you're on an airplane and you're in your chair, like you can't even stand up, but you want to practice Tai Chi. You know, you're in a limited space. So here, so if you're standing and, you know, you're in that limited space, rather than walking or stepping out, you can shift lift, and put right back down, as if you were stepping, right? So I'm picking it up like I'm stepping, but I don't step out. I pick it up and put it back down. So I'm still getting the experience of weight shift, but I don't have to worry about space. So that's an option too, that you don't have to perfectly figure out the amount of space for you to transfer weight. You can stay in that same stance with your feet at hip width and simply shift, lift, and step, just as if you were stepping in our series of waving hands and clouds. So in that instance, you know, we do 6, and I count the turns. I don't count the steps. I count the turns because the turns are last. But I count 6. So if I'm doing waving hands and clouds in place, so I'll show you what that looks like. So we just did single whip, waving hands and clouds. We step, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn. So you see how that works? So I'm not even using a lot of space, but I'm still experiencing all parts of the movement. So I like that question because that may have been something I forgot to even talk about, is Tai Chi in a limited space, that we can still practice it seated or standing and only use the space that is surrounding us. So I hope y'all are never locked in a closet, because that sounds horrible. But you could do Tai Chi, couldn't you? All right, so we're going to practice again without me talking you through them. I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to be right here. You can still follow me. I'm going to call out the names of the movements, just not talking. And then if you have any other questions, we'll address those. All right, here we go. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close, and close it out. So maybe that worked better for you that time, Ed, where you started off center and then either did smaller steps or just stepped in place to utilize the space that you have. Did that bring up any other questions?
No, I did good. I ended up in the center.
Heck yeah. Because when we go to adding our advanced movements, I end over here with the basic 6, but then when I start the advanced, I actually move over here because all of our first advanced movements go to the left. So I need all this space to go to the left, and then I come back to center, open and close. Then we do all the advanced movements to the right, and so when we end, I'm over here. So that's how I use the space that I'm given. If I have all the space in the world, then I don't worry about moving, but keeping that in mind, I do. So I work with what I have. So let's go through that. Let's do it 2 more times, and then let's introduce ourselves to the movement brush knee. All right, here we go. Basic 6, and begin. Commence. Open, close. Single whip to the right. Waving hands in clouds to the right. Open, close. Single whip left. Waving hands in clouds left. Open, close, and close it out. One more time, and then we'll do our advanced 6 first movement. And commence. Single whip to the right. Waving hands in clouds to the right. Open, close. Single whip to the left. Open, close it out. Hopefully you're feeling more and more comfortable with those movements. Reminder that it takes practice. And more than just coming to class, but outside of class. Even if you just set a timer for 5 minutes, going through the movements, even if you're sitting down. I know when I first started, I would lay down at night and I would close my eyes and I would go through in my mind's eye what commencement looked like. In my mind's eye, what was next. So I wasn't physically doing Tai Chi, but I was practicing Tai Chi with just my mind. The mind is that powerful. It can help you get better at your Tai Chi, but let me remind you of this. Years ago, there was a lady who was in my in-person Tai Chi class. She had learned all the way through part 2, and she was having problems with her heart racing, and so she went into the hospital so they could figure out what was wrong with her. Well, she was hooked up to all these things, you know, cords and wires, and I don't know what all she was hooked up to, but it was to where she was stuck in bed. She couldn't get up and like physically go through her Tai Chi. But what she loved about Tai Chi was how calming it was for her. And so in laying in bed, she closed her eyes and she went through all of her Tai Chi movements, and her heart rate came down. And so the nurse asked her what had she been doing in that time. And so she told them that she was doing her Tai Chi. And so that was amazing to me. She was excited to report it, that it, just thinking about it was calming. Thinking about the movements. So don't sell yourself short in thinking, oh, I don't have the, energy or the time or whatever. Find different ways to practice Tai Chi, because that's how you'll get better at it. All right, so I'm going to throw this at y'all. Do not get upset with yourself when it's not easy. It's okay. There are advanced movements, and they're called that because they are advanced movements. And the movement that we're going to do first is called brush knee. And remember, I told you we start facing the front, and we end up facing the left. I'm going to do this mirror image so you can see what it looks like from the front when I start, and when I end, I'm going to be facing the side. So it's kind of a tricky movement in showing you on camera anyway, because I go to the side. So I'm going to show you from all the directions. So here's what it looks like from the front, mirror image going to the left. Here's brush knee. I'm going to talk you through it. Oh gosh, I'm going to talk you through it, and I'm going to be a big fat liar. Okay, here we go. Shift left, right toe in. Shift right and reach. Separate, prepare. Step left, right hand comes in and turns. I shift left as I push and follow step right. That's brush knee. So again, what it looks like from the front. Don't look too bad, does it? What it looks like from the back. So I'm going to the left. Shift left, right toe in. Shift right and reach. Separate, prepare. Step, right hand comes in and turns. Shifts as I push and follow step right. So that's what it looks like from the back. And that's how generally we will be doing it in class as we practice. To show you what it looks like if you're the side, if you're the right side, and this is my front. I shift left, right toe in. Shift right and reach. Separate, prepare. Step, hand comes in and turns. Shifts as I push and follow step. Now that's my favorite view, so you can see what it looks like coming at you being the left. I find that the easiest way to see it, but because of mirror image, it may mess y'all all the way up. So just listen as I say right and left, and you should be good to go. So let's do just the footwork. So we're starting from open and close, right? We just finished our basic 6 with open and close. So our weight is on both feet. What we're going to do is shift all our weight to our left foot, and then we're going to turn that right toe in. And so the way I think about this is here, and I turn that right toe in. So I kind of pivot on that heel. There's not really weight on this right foot, but because my heel is connected to the floor, there is a little bit of pressure there as I turn that right toe in. And so that turning that right toe in, I think of that right toe as an arrow. That's saying we're going that way. So shift left, turn that right toe in. And we turn that right toe in so that when we get to the step where we actually step to the left, then that foot makes a little bit more sense now, because it's already got us in this direction, rather than if it stayed straight, then we probably feel like ballerinas in one of those positions, first or second, I don't know. We have to have some pretty flexible joints to, you know how ballerinas will stand like this, even further. I can't do it all the way. But we turn that toe in, and it gets us in the direction of going to the left. Boom. So well, I'm not going to say for some reason, but if for your reason that hurts your knee or even your hip, because if you have problems with your knee, then I have got it from people who need a knee replacement or people who had recently gotten a knee replacement, that turning that toe in does not feel good on their knee. We never want you in pain. So any sharp, like intense pain, we want to make an adjustment there or a modification. And so some people like to step out. So I'm raising my pants so you can see my feet better. So instead of shift left, right toe in, they go shift left and they step out a little bit to the right. And what that does is that widens their stance so that when they make the turn, then that feels better for them. And so you can try it that way and see if you like it. You can adjust the amount of turn that you make with that right foot and see if there's a certain amount that feels right to you. Oh, I got Iris coming in. That's a fine time to... Oh, Iris was already here. Oh, Iris is back. All right.
Yay, Iris.
Sir?
I said, yay, Iris.
Yay, Iris. All right. So that's the movement that shift left, right toe in. So find what feels okay for you to turn that foot in, then give weight back to that right foot. Right? So we shift left, we turn the right foot, then we give our weight back to the right foot. Now we're going to pull that left foot back. Now that's not a stable stance, but we pull it back and then we step to the left. And remember, always our step is empty. So all my weight is on this right foot as I place the left. Now I shift left. And then I adjust my right foot to now both my feet are facing the left wall. So that's the footwork. So again, shift left, right toe in. Shift right, bring that left foot back, then Place it. Now give the left foot weight and adjust that right foot. So now both feet are facing the left. How's this feeling? A little awkward?
Pretty good for me.
All right, well, I like it. So this is our footwork, and next week let me make sure I'll be having class. Yes, there's no school next week, but there is work. So I'll be here next week. But we'll talk more about the handwork. Now this is the more complicated move in our advanced movement, which is why I'm going to split it up. Our next movement looks like this. So it's a little easier. So be patient with yourself. Shift left, right toe in. Shift right. I call this separate and prepare. 2 step, shift, follow step. Okay? So that's the footwork of brush knee. We'll talk next week of why it's called brush knee. All right, let's cool down by giving ourselves a fist massage. Lifting your knees as high as you're comfortable lifting them. Telling your legs, thank you for working so hard. As we shift weight through our movements, as one leg holds all of us at a time, they work hard. And they work hard to get stronger so that you're less likely to fall. We want strength and we want attention to our body structure so we set ourselves up to not fall. Now let's gather tension. We don't want to live with tension. We want to let it go. Sometimes we're in pain and we find ourselves tensing up. That we can make that pain worse. Let it go and breathe. Tense and relax. Shoulder circle. Nice breath. Breathe in. Exhale as we push down. One more. We have our right fist, it's loose, representing our strength. Our left fingers all together, our friendship. Our thumb in, our humility. And mutual respect, we put those together and we say namaste.
Namaste.
Thank y'all so much for coming today and being open to learn something that's challenging. That's good. Your brain is better for learning something that challenges it. And we will break it down and I will show you modifications and answer any questions that come up. So y'all just let me know if you're thinking, I feel like I'm all arms or all legs or, I don't think I'm doing this right. I don't know what I'm doing. Help me out. I'm here for you, okay? So you just always let me know where you need a little extra guidance, okay? All right. Well, y'all have a great week and I'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you. Next Tuesday.
Okay.
All right. Love y'all.
Love you. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.